Blind Guy TV, and welcome back to the blind man builds an RC aeroplane. Now look, before I carry on, there's some really exciting news about this aeroplane, but before I carry on, will you please just hit the like button? Even if you don't like it, just click the like button. It takes a second. Even better, if you've got a few more seconds, just give some positive comments, please. What I'm trying to do with the whole channel is not promote me. I'm trying to promote disability. So, to say that someone who is blind or whatever can achieve. And I really am achieving with this model aeroplane. I'm doing it all myself. I am totally blind. I have been for 40 years. Made model aircraft since the age of 8 or 10. RC since the age of 12. And I've never built a single channel radio control plane in my life, But when I was 8, 9, I was studying them in the books. I was like, oh my God, this is my whole world. My school books were full of pictures of radio controlled aeroplanes I'd drawn. So what I'm trying to show to the general public and to disabled people is that we can do stuff, right? That's the important thing. We can do things, which you can't imagine. And I want to show you this, right? Now, the last video, I was starting to install the escapement. Well, the escapement is now in. You can see that that's a clockwork mechanism there, right? And it's not worked by clockwork. It's not a spring. It's worked by a rubber band. And the rubber band is installed. I can show you if I turn the aircraft over. Here we go. It's installed. Can you see it in that hatch there? Twisted rubber band. And what you do is you twist, and I've done all this myself. You twist this little lever there. Can you see that? It twists. If I can show you there. It twists. You turn it. It's like a starting handle. You turn it, but it'll only turn one way because it stops there. If I just let it go, it stops there. So it only turns one way. And what you're doing is you're winding this rubber band up. And the rubber band has two functions. One is to keep the escapement in, so it's pulling the escapement into its brackets. So I can remove the escapement if I want to. And two, it's winding up like on a clock. You wind up with a key. You wind up this rubber band, which will operate the escapement. And the escapement, not this escapement. This is a kind of a test bed escapement, but my other escapement is already wired in, soldered into the rest of the radio equipment. So tonight I'll be putting that radio equipment in, and we'll be testing to see if the whole system works. I don't know if you can see there. You've got a piece of a balsa wood strip leading into there. Can you see that? Well, that travels all the way down the fuselage and comes out through these little brass bezels at the end. Little brass bezels there and another one there. And this is connected to that balsa wood. And what I will be doing is, once I've installed the proper radio in, I'll be bending it up at 90 degrees. Okay? So it'll come up at 90 degrees and it'll twist that way and that way. So when you push your button on your transmitter controller, it goes right, center, left, center, right, center, left, center. And that will operate the little rudder, which is going to go in there. You see? So the rudder will go right, center, left, center, right, center, left, center. Okay. Now the other thing, I don't know how I'm going to do this without a beautiful assistant, but if I turn it upside down and try to, I think that'll work, yeah. I've made the tailplane. And that there is the tailplane. Can you see that? right? And that fits, and watch this is a clever bit, right? This hatch, so this bit slides all the way along, and has a little tab, and look, watch, oops, that wasn't quite right, slides into there, and dunk, look, it's in place. Look, the tailplane now is part of the aeroplane, and what it's going to have, it's going to have some dowels on the other side of the tailplane. It's hard to, I can turn it over. Yeah, I can turn it over. It's going to have some dowels on that side of the tailplane, and it'll have rubber bands holding the back of the tailplane on. So that in case of an accident, the tailplane can move a little bit, but it also covers up the inspection panel. And I thought that's really neat. Really proud of that. So I just turn it all the way over. As it's falling off. There we go. There we go. And it was a devil of a job to line this up and get it straight, I tell you. Crikey, I had drawing pins, map pins actually, and measuring from there to there with a not with a ruler but with a piece of wood, and from there to there with a piece of wood, and making sure it was straight at an angle and cockeyed, and then the glue wouldn't be have set and the bloody thing would move, and and finally I've got to show you, finally, down here I bought a new engine. Oh, that is not it. This is the new engine. DC Davies Charlton of Britain Sabre. Now the Merlin I showed you in an earlier video was a 0.75 and it looked really dinky inside the aeroplane. So what is, I bought this. It's a diesel. It's 1.5cc. It feels new to me. I don't think it's ever flown. And it'll go, I'll have to make some engine bearers, but it'll go all the way down here, inside there. And behind it will be a fuel tank. Can you see that? If I get my hands out of the way. It'll go in there. Behind it will be a metal fuel tank. Of course, there'll be a hole in the front there for the prop driver to go through. But I thought it was really neat. And on top of the engine, well, you've got a needle valve. You've got a carburetor there, look, a little carburetor. Then you have a needle valve, which you can adjust your mixture, how much diesel fuel comes through. And then on top, you've got your compression screw. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. It's in the right place. Compression screw. So you turn it to give it more or less compression. And I'm hopeless with diesel. My friend Ivan, if he's watching, he was a terrific guy with diesels. He just what, and they were off. Whereas I'd be putting an electric starter on it, it still wouldn't really go. I'd say, Ivan, this engine won't go. It won't go. It's impossible. Electric starter. No, it won't go. And he'd go, give it a go. Ooh, little adjustment here, little adjustment there. Oh, it's so frustrating. That's if you're watching, Ivan, good old days, eh? Okay, well, that's it for now, folks. As I said, please like. Makes a huge difference to the YouTube channel. You know, it sends it out to the more likes. Send the channel to other people, and other people can like it and carry on, and we'll grow the channel. I'm just trying to show people what I and obviously other people like me can do. I'm not sitting around reading a Braille book, listening to Radio 4, doing absolutely sweet FM and rocking chair. All right, so that's all for now, folks, and it's been nice talking to you again. Bye soon. Bye-bye.